This is the 5-way shoulder opening series on lying on a foam roll here. We're going to go through 5 different motions here to help open up, warm up, and stabilize this good shoulder posture that we want to hold throughout our workout program and also throughout our daily life. So this is a good series to go through to help dial that in. So let's start off. You can see I'm lying on a foam roller. If you are on a foam roller, you don't have to be, but if you are, you're going to have your tailbone to the back of your head lying on there. So if you're my whole spine and my head are fully supported by this foam roller here. My feet are flat on the ground, feet are parallel, knees in line. I don't want to try to, cause any hip issues while lying on here either. So we got a nice parallel form while I can just comfortably lay on here. If laying on a foam roller is too much, just lay on the ground and do the same motions. It's absolutely fine. Like the foam roller adds a little bit more opening and it causes a little bit of stability while lying here, just working just to balance a little bit. Can't hurt you there if you feel like you can tolerate it. So let's start with the first motion. We're going to start with these snow angels. We're going to have our palms up and we're going to circle our arms out nice and wide, the elbows straight, all the way through from our hips to back behind our head. And as we do so, we're going to keep our shoulders held back and down in that good posture there. So like when I say back and down, think about your shoulder blades kind of going back in relation to your body and down towards your back pockets, as if you were trying to put your shoulder blades in your back pockets. So throughout this motion, your shoulders aren't rising up towards your ears or not protruding or flopping around. You're keeping them just set, and then your arms are rotating right on that pivot point that you've set there, keeping that nice space between your ears and your shoulders. Good. And then from there, we're going to move on to alternating chops. So we're going to take our arms up above our head and chop back and forth in an alternating fashion. So they're crossing in the middle, going in opposite directions. And again, while I'm doing this, I'm holding my shoulders back and down, maintaining that shoulder posture, as then I maybe get a little bit of a stretch up here at the top. You might feel a little stretch as you get up here. And so it's important, make sure you're keeping your elbows straight as you get back there. Some of us, sometimes we hit that resistance, we hit the stretch, and then we just bend our elbow, and you tap it with your thumb, but your elbow's bent. If your elbow is bent, you're not getting as deep of a shoulder stretch as you could. And we want to get that posterior retraction of the scapula, and you're only going to really get that if you keep the elbow straight and reach back there, again, without letting the shoulder rise up towards your ear. So we're going back and forth, keeping the shoulders held back and down, while keeping the elbow straight and getting a nice stretch back there. So you get a good stretch while also activating and holding on to your posture. Good. And now from here, let's go into bilateral chops. So we're going to put the palms together. You can either clasp your fingers or you can put them in like a prayer position. I like to clasp them so that the arms can kind of help each other. And again, keeping that same shoulder posture back and down. We're going to chop the arms back and forth from the hips, up and over, back behind the head. Going as far as you can get a good stretch without feeling like you're pinching anything and still maintaining that back and down shoulder posture. Your mid-back should be a little bit activated here, holding on to that posture as you rotate through. Maybe get a little stretch up top here, holding your forms throughout. Now from there, we're going to take it and we're going to change it up. Now we're going to go into scapular retraction. From here, I'm going to take my fingertips on each side. I'm going to put them behind my ears, just fingertips behind my ears. I'm not wrapping my hands behind my head or anything, just fingertips behind the ears. And I'm going to take my elbows and I'm going to pull them back while also therefore trying to squeeze my shoulder blades back a little bit. You might get a stretch in the chest here if you're tight here on the front of the shoulders. If not, it's still good to just kind of warm up and learn to activate, trying to retract your shoulder blades there. And then I'm going to bring my elbows forward up to as far as I can. Nice good pull stretch here, a little bit of protraction with the shoulder blades, but really just so that I can then open up and retract those shoulder blades again. So I can come forward with them as far as I can comfortably tolerate, and then take them back as far as I can comfortably tolerate, back and forth here. So you can get a bit of a stretch but it is a dynamic stretch. I want you activating and maintaining good shoulder posture throughout this. Using your mid-back to keep your shoulders in place through the motion. Good. And then we'll go into our last movement here. This one's a bit tricky, so if this is your first time, I'm going to be taking you step by step through this right now. But this would be the scoop of the serratus anterior. It's this muscle deep in our backs there that connects the bottom tip of our shoulder blade to our lower rib cage. So let's try this motion first by, let's just take one hand, and I want you to try to reach your fingertips up toward the ceiling, and then bring it back down. And then take the other hand, reach those fingertips up to the ceiling, and then back down. So again, keep doing that. You're reaching up without rotating your body. The shoulder is independently moving the whole arm up and then back down. And the fingertips of the other arm reach up and back down. And if you notice that visual of taking the fingertips up to the ceiling and back, you're really just moving the shoulder up and back, or should I say forward in relation to your body and back. But now let's take it one step further to really target that serratus anterior. And so since this is a muscle that connects from the bottom tip of your shoulder blade down to your lower rib cage, it's that kind of diagonal motion there, sort of. So we're going to kind of try and scoop the shoulder diagonally as we reach up there. All right. So you're going to scoop that shoulder down towards your hip and up to the ceiling kind of at the same time. So you can think of your shoulder blade almost like a shovel, and the bottom tip of that shoulder blade down there is the tip of the shovel, and you're scooping that shovel down here. And you can, if you want to focus on just one side of that, you try that. Just keep scooping that shoulder and then resetting back. Scoop and reset back. And notice every time you reset back, you're not letting your shoulder hunch up to your ear. You're not like going in the full, complete opposite range there. You're just resetting back to neutral. So I'm engaging the bottom tip of my shoulder blade and scooping, and then I'm resetting to neutral, maintaining that space between my shoulder and my ear there. Scooping, and then resetting to neutral. Scooping, and resetting to neutral. So we did a whole bunch on one side, so then you can go ahead and switch to the other side. Scoop, and reset. Scoop, and reset. When I'm doing these on my own, I like to just kind of alternate them back and forth, right and left, so I know I've done an even amount on each side. You can do them however you please there, but it's really key to try to dial in. If you can get that scooping motion down, this muscle plays a key role in you trying to engage your shoulders back and down. The down part of the back and down with your shoulder posture, that has a lot to do with this muscle here, engaging and holding the bottom tip of that shoulder blade in place as you do some other dynamic motion with your arms. So learning how to kind of tune in with this muscle can be really beneficial to you keeping better and safer form throughout your workouts. So take your time. If you're having trouble with this, it's fine. Just keep at it and then retry another day and retry another day. Keep coming back to this and revisiting this, and you might one day start to kind of see how you can activate this. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, as with anything over time. That's probably one of the most complicated motions of this series, and it also doesn't feel like a big stretch, but if you have trouble with it, it's an important one to take time to dial into. Okay. So that's the 5-way shoulder opening series. You can do this lying on a foam roller or on your back, whatever feels good for you. It's all good for trying to open up, stretch, warm up, and stabilize and get yourself prepared for better shoulder posture through your workout and your life.